Hey, what's up? It's Fuel Your Life Friday. Let's go. Welcome back to another Fuel Your Life Friday. You know, June 1st officially kicks off hurricane season. And since I am a Florida resident and I've experienced my fair share of hurricane seasons, I thought I would hit you with an episode all about hurricane preparedness. Before I get into all of my tips, I want everyone to just kind of remember that when you are thinking about hurricane season and what Floridians do, or anyone in the South does, evacuating really isn't as easy as everyone thinks, especially in Florida, because we have two primary highways that go north and south. I-95 runs along the East Coast, while I-75 is more west. During Hurricane Irma, it was taking some people 18 hours to go a typical 5-hour drive. Plus, the weather spaghetti models change so often that it can really be difficult to make a decision with certainty lacking. So when traffic is backed up for miles and gas is sparse, being on the road can actually feel riskier than staying in your house. So keep all of that in mind as we're going into hurricane season when you're like, why aren't you people evacuating? It's a very, very hard decision, okay? So without further ado, let me hit you with my tips. Tip number 1. Get the generator and gas now. So gas prices have dropped down due to the pandemic, so it's best to just go ahead and fill up your gas cans now so you can keep your generator going, or in case you need to leave, you may find yourself needing an emergency gallon or two. And when I say get the generator now, I mean get the generator now. Last year during Hurricane Dorian, we were projected to get hit with a Cat 5 hurricane directly in the town that I live in. After sitting at Lowe's for over 8 hours waiting for a generator, we finally scored a used one from someone on Facebook Marketplace. The downside is that we paid $150 more for the used generator than what that same model sold for brand new. Yeah, we got hustled. Supply and demand will bite you in the butt, especially if you are on the demand side. Next tip is get a window AC. They really come in handy. After Hurricane Irma, we were without electricity for over 7 days. Our house was hot as heck. In fact, it was actually cooler outside of our house than inside. After a friend had lent us their generator, we could use our window unit as a saving grace because we kept everyone in one room, we camped out, and there was no better relief from the heat than that. Next tip, extra water. Yes, you will definitely need extra water. You'll need it to brush your teeth, cook, and if your home is on a well like mine, and the well pump will not work if the electricity is out. So if we filled up our bathtubs full of water before the storm even hit, it was perfect because when we needed to flush the toilets, you fill up a bucket from the bathtub, you dump it in the toilet to manually flush it. It is not ideal, it is not pretty, but it works and it beats the alternative of going outside. So also fill up your Ziploc bags and Tupperware with water and then put them in your freezer and freeze them before the storm comes because if your electricity does go out, it helps keep your freezer colder longer, not to mention there's extra water if needed. My next tip, do not use the Walmart grocery app. Seriously. I really thought that by using this, I was slick and I could avoid crowds, but they actually ran out of food before my order could even be processed. I made this mistake and I really lost out on getting some key essential items. And finally, my last tip is to shop Windstorm products. My friends at Windstorm Products will hook you up with hurricane hardware that you need to keep your home or business secure. Windstorm Products offers $5 flat rate shipping on every order. Just go to www.windstormproducts.com, or I will also link it in this week's episode notes. I am really praying for a mild hurricane season as 2020 has really already given us more than our fair share, I think. But at the very least, I hope that those who live in hurricane-impacted regions stay safe and you do not delay your preparations. Remember that a prepared community is a strong community. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with a friend and be sure to give the podcast a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or wherever it is that you tune in and turn it up. That's all for today. I'll see you back here next week, but until then, remember, every level of life is an opportunity to grow. Be well, my friend.